It's Jerry Norton, and recently I had the opportunity to speak on stage at Squat Up Summit, Pace Morby's event, in front of 3,500 people. And on this video, I want to share just one part of my presentation that I shared with the group, because if you really want to be successful in 2025 and beyond, there are a couple things that you're all going up against, that you're all going to face. First one is sophistication. It's a very sophisticated time to be in real estate. I mean, with technology and AI and just the advancements in information that we have available to us, it's a very sophisticated market. I mean, let's take data, for example. I co-founded PropWire. It's the second largest data provider next to PropStream on the market today. And what we can do with PropWire is absolutely fascinating. I can go to Jacksonville, Florida. I can pull an absentee owner list that's out of state, that's owned the property for over 10 years, that's vacant with high equity, and I can give you that list in a nanosecond. So data has become somewhat of a commodity. Everybody has access to distressed seller information. So what is it that makes that special? Well, of course, getting in front of those sellers. So then there's competition. There's fierce competition. In whatever market you're in right now, there's somebody that has a bigger team, better processes, and a bigger marketing budget and can spend more money than you can to get in front of sellers. So you're facing that as a wholesaler. And so what is it that you need to do to really do this business well and be successful? How do you carve out your sliver of the pie so that you can be that $1 million producer or hit your financial goals in real estate? And so I've got three things that I believe are absolutely critical. And the first one is what I call get all the meat on the bone. And it's a phrase I use quite often, get all the meat on the bone. And what I mean by that is you have to be direct to deals. You have to be an acquisition company. You have to source and find your own deals. And the reason why I think this is absolutely critical to not just survive, but thrive is because when you are direct to deals, when you find your own deal flow, you are in control. No one else dictates your business model. If you don't have direct to deal access, if you don't know how to go out in the market and you don't have processes and systems and marketing in place to find your own deals, whatever your exit strategy is, if you're not able to find those deals yourself, then you're at the mercy of something else. You're at the mercy of the market or real estate agents or wholesalers or somebody else that's going to bring your deals to you. You cannot build a thriving business unless you can create that deal flow. Now, what that means is it means you need to get good at sales and marketing, and you need to get good at lead generation. You need to have processes in place so that you can take those leads and then convert those leads into deals. Again, whatever your exit strategy is. And the way to think about this, the way I think about this is I use the baseball analogy. So every time a deal comes in, I'm going to categorize that deal into a single, double, triple, home run, or grand slam. Now, everybody's definition of what a single, double, triple, home run, grand slam is going to be different. What I think a home run deal is might be different than what you think a home run deal is. You have to define how you would classify the quality of a deal. Now, here's what I believe. Once you get good at acquisition, at direct to deals, once you're able to get all the meat on the bone, you get to decide. You have options now. You can be choosy. You don't have to settle for mediocre deals. You can cherry pick the very best deals. This is the best way to build a business. You cherry pick the very best deals, and then you wholesale everything else. It's just the most brilliant business model. So what do I do? And what do my partners do? And my students do? What do I teach how to do? Get the deal flow. The deals come in. If it's a single, if it's a double, or if it's a triple, wholesale that deal for 10 or 15 or 20 or $30,000, whatever, wholesale that deal to somebody else, because your single is somebody else's home run, because there are a lot of people in the market that have very low margins. So their definition or their criteria for a good deal could be much different than yours. It is for me. So again, you're going to do the lead gen. You're going to get the deals. Some of those deals are going to be mediocre deals. They're going to be singles, doubles, and triples. Wholesale those ones, take the quick fee. Now you're padding your bank account. You got money coming in. And what do you do with the home runs and the grand slams? Those are the ones you keep. And if you're a flipper, you fix and flip those ones. If you're a buy and hold investor, you keep that one as a rental, you add it to your portfolio. If you do co-living or RV parks or apartments or whatever it is that you're doing, learn how to be direct to deals, get all the meat on the bone, and that's how you're going to really succeed at this business. It's going to solve a lot of problems because the marginal deals that aren't so great, you're going to bring in revenue every month. It's going to pay for your marketing, pay for your overhead, pay for your team, pay for your lifestyle. Then you're able to be really choosy, really particular about which deals you want to keep and take on. Now, second principle that I think is absolutely critical is what I call become Cheesecake Factory. Now, when I lived in Puerto Rico for date night every single week, my wife and I would go to Cheesecake Factory in San Juan. Why did we go to Cheesecake Factory? Well, my wife loved it because it felt very American and it kind of reminded her of home. And the menu is like this thick. There is something for everybody at Cheesecake Factory. You could eat there every day for a month and get something different and then rotate back through if you wanted. They have a massive menu. And the principle here, the correlation here with real estate is you need to provide a solution to your seller. Okay, so we're going to do the marketing. We're going to create the lead gen. Deals are going to come in. When that seller gets in front of us, whether it's direct to agent, direct to seller, we need to identify what the problem is. Our job is to solve that problem. I don't care what the problem is. I want to have a solution for it. Now, sometimes the problem is they need the cash right away. They have equity and they want the money right now. And they want the speed and convenience of a cash offer. Now, there's a direct correlation between motivation and price. The higher the motivation, the lower the price. And likewise, flip side of that is the lower the motivation, the higher the price the seller wants. Now, what's fantastic about real estate is once you understand how to structure deals, you can provide a solution to every seller's problem. And I'm going to lump these all into a couple of basic categories. I mentioned the first one. The first one is cash. Some sellers are in that place where a cash offer is the solution, and they will take a big discount for the speed and convenience of that cash offer. But that's only a small segment of distressed seller market or sellers that want to sell a distressed property. Okay, so what do you do with sellers that don't have that urgency for cash? If they can wait to get some or all of the money, then we introduce creative financing. If they have an existing mortgage, it's going to be subject to. If they own it free and clear, it's going to be seller financing. If they have an existing mortgage with a lot of equity, it's going to be a hybrid of sub 2 in a first position, right? And seller financing in a second position. Those three strategies, sub 2, seller financing, and a hybrid of the two, is 90% of creative finance deals. If you understand how to structure creative finance, then when that low cash offer is not the right solution, then you're able to offer creative finance and say, hey, what if we took a look at paying you a higher price for you to wait to get some or all of your money? That's creative finance. Now, what do you do when you spent the money, you got the marketing, you're on the phone, you've done all the work, you're here in front of a seller, and they say, I want to sell, but I want retail. And you do all your qualifications, there's no motivation, and they want full retail price. Well, most people throw those leads away and say, oh, it's not a motivated seller. It's nothing I can do there. Not me. Again, a solution for everybody. I will list their property for sale for them. We hold an active real estate license in each of the markets where I actively do deals. I believe you should have a real estate license and be able to offer that seller that solution. Hey, no problem. You want retail? No problem. We can list that for you for 3%. And we'll list properties for 3%. If the market's over 500,000, 3% on a listing is almost a wholesale fee. Why throw away that lead when really your job is to be providing solutions to sellers? So I want you to think about this. If I can offer a seller a low cash offer, if that fits what they need, creative financing, if that fits what they need, or list it as an agent, if that's what they need, I've now given them Cheesecake Factory menu, right? I've given a solution. I have a solution to their problem. This is how you go from converting 1 in 20 or 1 in 30 leads to converting 1 in 10 of your leads. This is why we win so big at this business. Now, again, you don't have to keep all those deals. Again, remember number one, keep the meat on the bone, but become an acquisition company. If it's a creative financing deal that I don't want to keep because it's not a home run, I'll wholesale that creative deal. If it's a listing thing and I don't want to deal with it, I'll pass that off to another agent and I'll get a split in the commission. None of this you have to keep. Let me rephrase this again. Get all the meat on the bone, become an acquisition company, control all the deal flow, cherry pick the very best deals, wholesale everything else, and provide everybody a solution. Okay, now what if you're new? That's a lot to learn, how to do cash, creative, list, all those things. I get that. Now, this is the end game, right? This is once you're established. You can't start out being everything for everybody. So pick one, and the one you pick is low cash. Now, why do you pick low cash, in my opinion? Because it's the easiest one to learn. You have two things to figure out: value and condition. That's it. Value and repairs. Once you do that, you can run a simple formula. You can get to an offer price, wholesale that deal. Once you've learned that and you've mastered that and you are proficient at that, then introduce creative financing. Creative financing is a more advanced strategy. It's a bigger animal to get your head around. You got to learn 10 things to make a creative finance deal good, not one or two things. Okay, so there's a lot more into creative finance to understand cash flow and debt service and balloons and interest rates and amortizations and all the things that go into creating a really good creative finance deal, entry fees and so on. So can you learn that? Of course you can learn that. I've got a ton of content on my YouTube channel teaching how to structure creative financing deals that you can then turn around and wholesale or keep if you want to keep it. Listing's a little easier. If you have your license, you can easily do that one. But my point here is start where you're at, get good at one thing. Once you're good at one thing, introduce another thing. But the goal should be, like I said, to be able to provide a solution to everybody. Now, the third thing that I think is absolutely critical is you have to become a servant-oriented business. You have to be that go-giver. And I know that sounds cliche, so don't tune me out yet. If you cannot over-deliver to a seller, if you cannot go above and beyond what everybody else is willing to do, you are going to miss out on a lot of deals because everybody is talking to the same sellers. In almost every situation when we talk to a seller, they're getting other prices from other wholesalers, or they're already talking to other people. I'm not the first one they've talked to and got a price from. You are always going to be competing with somebody else. How do you separate yourself from the next wholesaler offering the same price or a little bit better of a price? How do you compete with them? I'm not going to compete on price. I'm a margin business. So where do I compete? In service. We go above and beyond. We just closed on this deal here yesterday. As of this recording, it was a $35,000 assignment fee. And my partner, Jordan, went on appointment 6 different times, face-to-face with the seller, 6 different times to meet this seller. Took 6 months of follow-up. That's not even counting on the phones, calling and following up. We helped her move all of her stuff. We helped her find an apartment. We released some of our earnest money to her, and we got a great deal, and we made $35,000 wholesaling that deal. But why did we get that deal? Because we kept serving that seller, Diane, and she decided, hey, you guys are my guys. I feel like I can trust you. I feel like you care about me. I feel like you're helping me. I feel like you're solving my problems. I'm going with you guys over the other 5 offers I got that aren't willing to do that, aren't following up, aren't showing that they care. She had mentioned on one of the appointments that her grandson has a PS3. So Jordan had a couple old PS3 games at home. He went back over there, stopped by, said, hey, Diane, just stopping by, checking in on you. How's things going? Are you ready to sell? Okay, no problem. Hey, I was just thinking about your grandson. Here's some PS3 games that he might like. Like that kind of service, that kind of caring is the only way that you're going to survive. And you can't fake this. This is something you can't fake. You have to genuinely care about people and want to do good to them and want to do the right thing. So recapping this, direct-to deals, get all the meat on the bone. You have to be able to provide a solution to whatever that seller's problem is, and you have to be willing to serve them and go above and beyond and the extra mile more than everybody else is willing to do to win that business, build that trust, and get those deals. So if you're willing to do those 3 things, you can absolutely crush it in this business. Now, one of the keys to doing a real estate business really well is being able to stay organized, being able to streamline, automate as much of the process as you can, and that's why I built Flipster. Flipster is a CRM specifically for wholesalers and flippers. What's great about it is it has a workflow so you can progress your deals from step 1 all the way to step 10. It's got your lead gen tools in there, everything from your analyzers to your contracts, to your contacts with your sellers, and all the things you need to follow up and stay organized. And you can check that out on a free trial. Just go to joinflipster.com. Now, if you found this video helpful, leave a comment and say, Jerry, you're a flipping genius. And finally, what I want you to do, I want you to watch a video where if you're trying to get started in real estate, but you have little or no time, little or no money, and little to no sales experience, how do you start building a business? I'm gonna break it down for you on that video. So watch that now, and I'll see you on the next video.